Scammers on Etsy who pass off Gen AI as legitimate work are getting more rampant, and they're getting a little smarter. So let's investigate. So we have this listing for a custom profile photo for Twitch, profile icon, anime profile photo, by Nokia Store. Now, on first glance, this piece, a lot of the elements that you could indicate for AI usage aren't really flagging. There are stars, but the stars actually look like stars and not some sort of jumbled mess. The irises are pretty even, that's not really flagging as a error here. There are some elements that do look a bit suspicious, but we could argue maybe benefit of doubt, right? Like there's these blue things appearing in her hair. Are those earrings? They don't look very clear if they are earrings. You can't really tell. She has two wings. They don't match at all. This one has like a little yellow detailing that is not featured on this wing. Oh, why did it flatten like this? The necklace detail is a bit wonky, but it doesn't look too off. So benefit of doubt, it could be legitimate. It also could be AI. Then we have this video, 70% off. And here they show you a sketch. They show you a base color. And they show you a finished product. And if we look at this finished product, this does look very legitimate. It looks like somebody drew it. There is like a unique style to it and like a very thin line art that everything is done basically with one line weight. Some detailing, like we have an earring here that's kind of floating, but this overall looks like a legitimate piece made by a legit artist. And then we get to look into the rest of the example photos. Then we have this piece. It looks a bit odd. We have hair going back into the hair, weird earring detailing. We have bow straps for the bra, but this one has like a bunch of loops that kind of go back into the hair. The necklace detail, it looks like a bunny loosely, to use your imagination. It could be a bunny wearing an astronaut hat, but it looks like the ears are intersecting the choker. Not to mention the suspicious lace in quote detailing happening here, and the checkered pattern that doesn't even reach the bottom of the top, and the jacket detailing that doesn't match up. But if this isn't even egregious enough, we then have this piece, which is oh so definitely AI. From the hair melting into the eyes, into the distorted irises, into the ear with like pieces jutting out of the ear, 4 earrings or 3 earrings. I can't even tell if this middle one is like part of the hair in the back or the earring. The hair blends straight into the ear. This is all looking mad funky. And also, one of you guys sent me this, by the way, which I very appreciate you putting me onto, sus accounts like this. Here we have another piece, also giving very heavily AI with a face tat that doesn't make any sense, earrings on the cartilage that look all wonky and odd, cross necklaces that don't, again, make very much sense. But what is just odd about this is the advertisement of this listing, because in the listing, they're mixing what looks to be very legitimate artwork with heavily AI pieces. And I feel like in situations like this, people who are kind of on the fence could be deceived into thinking, well, it looks a little sus, but there are some pieces that look legit, so must be real, right? Also just seems even more odd because when you look at the listing photos of the reviews, they also look legit. Like another piece we got from someone. Here is another piece somebody received. These all seem to be pretty legit pieces. It just seems weird that they're using Gen AI images to advertise the listing. And if you look deeper into this account is again weird in that they have listings like this D&D custom character that looks very AI. I do not know what's happening with the straps here. Another example. Again, this is supposed to be a character sheet. And the thing about character sheets is you want the design to be consistent from the head turns, etc. because people do use the character sheet to make other artwork of your character. So it needs to be accurate. And you look here and it's just her clothing is different of one of the head turns. She kind of has like a chest plate and then shoulder caps for her armor. This one is shoulder cap and the chest plate has a gold detailing on it. This one looks like she's wearing a full chest plate with the shoulders connected. And this one has a collar only on one side, which you can see is kind of present here as well and not present in the second head turn. But then if you go to their store on Etsy, they have other listings, custom chibi VTuber. And this also looks very legit. We have a rig example as well, more examples. It's just a bit confusing because it looks like they're, for the most part, actually delivering actual work to people, but for some reason using AI in some of the advertisements. Now, secondly, we have this other store by the name of Vid Element. Custom gamer avatar from your photo, cartoon style, logo, or character. Send me your photo and turn your photo into anime style avatar for $20. Whereas, again, you know damn well this person is just getting the photo and uploading it to Midjourney. They also advertise a variety of styles. Wow. Need I explain how all of this is very Gen AI? with the wonky like clothing detailing, the hood just kind of melting into the hair, all of these other portrait options. Wow. I like how for pixel art, it's just Steve from Minecraft. It's not even a pixel version. More side by sides in a very AI style. Now, in this case, when the people receive the artwork back, it looks a bit interesting in that on first glance, you would be like, well, this does look hand drawn, you know, da 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 da. You can see the faint outline of an ear in the background, which looks to be potentially a piece that this piece was traced off of. Again, no flame to the person who bought it. They likely had no idea, right? And there's something else back here too that is omitted. Now here we have this piece looking very AI-esque in style. And then again, if you go to the store, it's a weird mixed media. They have pieces like this that they're selling, like a esports style logo that is looking very AI. Irises, again, do not match up at all. There is a Japanese character on the headset, except it's not really actually a Japanese character. The headset is broken, and there's like one strand of hair going straight up, and like it looks like the headset is kind of disjointed with the way the line work is connecting. It's like here, there's like one band for the headset, and then here is another band and they don't actually match up. And they also have this dog Twitch overlay that I just think is funny. Because if you look over here, the dogs look so soulless. And most definitely very, very, very AI. I feel like I don't need to explain this. But it's weird because if you go to the page, they have other art pieces that look really legit. They have these Groot emotes and these all look very hand-drawn. Like this Christmas tree Groot is really cute. And they have these Gengar sub badges as well. And here we have a third store, Nico Nook Store. They have $5 custom anime profile photos, which again, I will also have to add, like if the price sounds too good to be true, it's likely too good to be true. Somebody's getting exploited in the process. Here we have the eye that like disconnects out of her lower lash line, like triple lash lines on the lower lash, bangs just melting straight into the eyelid. So much of that happening. Jewelry appearing out of the hair, all these strands of hair connecting into the ear for some reason, and then hair going back into itself. Kind of an animated video selling it to you with very AI looking pieces. A big one again is the ear, right? Like if somebody can render to this level, they can make the ear look pretty normal, and this just does not. As well as the eyes looking very funky. I don't know what's happening with the eyelid here. More jarring, artifacting, not to mention that she's like completely eating a finger, which I think is funny. But then what's interesting is you go in the comments, right? And the artwork looks pretty legitimate. The background looks kind of AI and blurred, not gonna lie. But the front, this looks pretty legit. Here, full body piece, looking pretty legit. Here's another piece that also looks hand-drawn. And this store is also offering $5 plus VTuber, custom VTuber models, where again, if you look at the artwork is looking quite odd. Here we have like a star in the chest that's kind of melting into the clothing. Look what's happening with the strap of the shirt or the top that's like melting into the hair and breaking. And then again, funky things happening with the eye up here. We have like what looks to be a artifact strand of hair kind of like intersecting into the white of the eye. And then over here, strands of the hair melting into the iris. This one is a dead giveaway because we have a hand with 6 fingers. I feel like I don't need to say more about this. Not to mention the fact that there's like one wonky folded finger and the fingernails don't even all match up. They're not the same color, which is chill. You know, color blocking is a thing. People like doing different colors. Just doesn't match on the other hand, so it doesn't look like it's intentional. This one with the details that's not actually details. On a complete side note though, this is a business thing. If you are selling like a VTuber model that comes with the rig, I recommend putting a video of how the rig looks like. It'll get more sales. And the reviews aren't looking too great. We have somebody who gave it 3 stars initially, like in December 2024, saying there's a lot of issues with the model. They have to do a lot of redlining and that they recommend the store, but don't expect top knot for what you're paying. Then June 16th, they added another review and it's 1 star titled Buyer Beware. That Nico, who they thought were their model mama or papa, it's not. They're the rigger, and they used the customers' funds to go to school because they didn't know how to rig it in the first place. And they blamed the artist for not providing commercial rights. Whereas the rigger, Nico, didn't purchase commercial rights in the first place. And they also use AI as examples. And this is the weird thing at the end of the day with all 3 of these stores, right? And like just using this one as the example because it is the last one. They are advertising their services using AI generated images. This is Gen AI, point blank simple. But it's weird because they're capable of drawing. And this is what they deliver to a client. This doesn't look AI. The background needs to look closer, right? Can't tell when it's blurred. But this piece in the front looks hand-drawn. This piece looks hand-drawn. But my suspicion is they're using AI to advertise because the quote-unquote quality, if you don't look closely, of AI is possibly higher than the skill level they draw at to kind of like get in the customer, and then you bait and switch and you get their actual art piece. I would argue their actual art piece, their actual style looks great. I don't think there's a need to false advertise with Gen AI. Not just this store, but all of them that we just looked at today. But that's just a thing to be aware of too, because not only are you potentially purchasing Gen AI, there are now stores who are false advertising using Gen AI, and you do get legitimate artwork, which is good, but it's just not what you thought you were gonna get. Why can't we just advertise legitimately? So if you are a customer looking to purchase on Etsy, beware, look in the comment section and look at example reference pieces of the people you buy from to see how that actually looks like, because that will likely be a much closer representation to the example or the type of stuff you're gonna get back rather than what the listing image might be showing you. So at least on the bright side, the people weren't getting AI for the most part. If you like this video, I appreciate it. If you like and subscribe, don't forget to check me out on Etsy or VGen. I sell digital art and stuff there, but I don't do custom work on Etsy and stuff like that. I also have a coffee with free resources for streamers and creators, and I also stream on Twitch 3 days a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, Saturdays at 6 p.m. PST. So hope to catch you guys there or in another video.